Hi students, it's me, your science teacher with new chapter of biology portion, chapter 2, respiration and energy from food. The term respiration is a chemical process that takes place in all living organisms, and it takes place in the cells. As a result, energy is produced from the food and the oxygen that we have breathed in. Well, in most living organisms, including humans, the energy for life. The energy for life means the activities that we do to continue our life. It comes from a chemical reaction between food and oxygen. For this, have a look at this chart. You see, this is the energy that is produced in our body as a result of respiration. We use it for our muscle contractions, like for movement, for the growth of our body, for the active transport of food materials and blood, for the transmitting nerve impulses, for the synthesis of proteins to make new cells for our body, and also for maintaining a warm body temperature. As we have learned that it is a result of chemical reaction between food and oxygen. For this, check this reaction. This is the molecule of food C6H12O6, which is a glucose molecule, and this is the oxygen molecule that we have inhaled. When both of them react, as a result, carbon dioxide and water are produced. These are the end products. Along with it, the useful energy is produced, and this energy is released in the form of ATP. ATP is the short of adenosine triphosphate. I want here to tell you that beside other organisms, we have the examples of jellyfish and fireflies that spark light. This energy that they use to spark light, it comes from this energy that is taking place in their cells. So looking at this equation is also called cellular respiration as it takes place in the cells. A series of chemical reactions that requires glucose and oxygen as reactants. These are the reactants. Glucose sugar molecules are broken down and the energy from its covalent bonds is released. How we are getting this energy? It is because of the breaking down of the covalent bond between the reactants, and as a result, the useful energy in the form of ATP is released. Along with it, what carbon dioxide and water produced, that are the waste products. You see here in the reactants we have carbon, hydrogen, oxygen atoms, and at the finishing ends products that we got, it has the same carbon, oxygen, hydrogen atoms, but they have rearranged themselves to form new compounds. Well, here you see this reaction is called aerobic respiration, which I have explained you now. So what is aerobic? Aerobic means in the presence of air or oxygen. We can live for a few days without food, but without air we will die in a few minutes. So it is the oxygen that is so vital for us. Next, sometimes though your breathing cannot get enough oxygen to your cells, when it happens when you are doing some physical exercise. When you are running, what is happening? That your muscles need to release more energy for movement. One thing, girls, I want here to tell you is कि जो mitochondria हैं in our cells, in muscle cells, they are in large amount में present होते हैं. Why? Because muscles needs more energy, and mitochondria are storing that energy that is produced as a result of aerobic respiration. So what is happening, that when we are doing physical exercise, our body needs more oxygen, but our cells are unable to provide that. So what is happening? The body gets this energy by just breaking down glucose. In the absence of oxygen, when it happens, a lactic substance, acid, is produced that is very toxic. So here you see that when food and oxygen break up, what they release? They release energy that we use to perform our body activities. But here, when we are doing physical activity like running, at that time in our cells only glucose is present and there is less oxygen. So when glucose breaks down in the absence of oxygen, acid is produced that is called lactic acid. The energy is released and we can carry on running. However, the lactic acid builds up in your muscles, causing your muscles to feel tired and eventually you may get painful cramp. Here, the energy is we are getting, but it is in very small amount. It is just 2 ATP. How much? Just 2 ATP. That is not enough to carry out our activity, our racing. So what happens after this exercise? We take deep breaths so that our body gets lots of oxygen. For this, our heart beats faster to get more oxygen to the cells. The lactic acid is slowly broken down into carbon dioxide and water. How it is happening? Now the blood takes this lactic acid to the liver, where the liver in the presence of oxygen breaks this lactic acid into carbon dioxide and water. Only when all the lactic acid has been broken down, our heart rate and breathing returns to normal. As this energy is provided from food without oxygen, we call this respiration as anaerobic respiration. Is of two types, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration takes place in both plants and animals in small organelles called mitochondria. The glucose comes from the food you have eaten and oxygen from the air that we have breathed in. And after complex chemical reaction inside the cell, the result is carbon dioxide and water, and 36 ATP of energy is released. And specifically, we can write this equation, and we call this equation as anaerobic respiration. Here, what happens? Glucose and oxygen goes to carbon dioxide and water. In some cases, in some circumstances, what happens that we are not taking there is a shortage of oxygen in our cells as we are doing some exercise, like we are doing running. When there is no oxygen in our body according to our requirements, then there will be no carbon dioxide and no water. And so what will happen? No aerobic respiration takes place. So only glucose that is present in the cell, it changes into lactic acid. And as a result, a very small amount of energy is released. And this process and this type of respiration is called anaerobic respiration, and glucose directly converts into lactic acid. The problem with anaerobic respiration is that there is a shortage of oxygen. And as a result, lactic acid is produced that needs to be broken down in the presence of oxygen. For that, after the exercise, we have to take deep breaths after exercise. In anaerobic respiration, I have an activity for you. There is a video that shows you that after exercise, why we feel stiff in our muscles. Here you see what you have to do. Raise your hand and stretch your fingers, and then make as tight fist as you can, and keep on stretching and clench, stretching and clench. Okay, now you see here, when we are doing this exercise, our muscles need oxygen and to produce this energy. But when we are doing vigorous exercises, then our muscles are not getting that much oxygen, due to which our body is unable to carry out aerobic respiration, and then we opt for anaerobic respiration, that is a respiration without oxygen. Then the question arises, why we do not always do anaerobic respiration? The answer is this: the energy produced in anaerobic respiration is very small, and also small energy is produced, and a nasty waste product, lactic acid, is produced. Okay, so now what you are feeling in your arm? Now lactic acid has built up. Okay, so when you stop exercising, this lactic acid needs to be taken by the blood to the liver. What the liver do? Yes, the blood is taken to the liver, where the liver breaks this lactic acid into, in the presence of oxygen, into carbon dioxide and water. After vigorous exercises, you take deep breaths to take in more oxygen to replace the lactic acid, to change it into carbon dioxide and water. So in our body there is an oxygen debt after anaerobic respiration, and the body has to opt for oxygen molecules. So here we find the answer that why we feel stiff after exercise. It is because of build of lactic acid, and also the inability of the blood to take this lactic acid to the liver. So it is very important to warm down before any other exercise. Now keep your arm down. Thank you. Now students, after seeing the video that I have shown you about anaerobic respiration, we have calculated the following differences between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. So we see that in aerobic respiration, glucose and oxygen is used, while in anaerobic respiration, only glucose is used. The end products of the aerobic respirations are carbon dioxide and water, whereas in anaerobic respiration, it produces lactic acid. Here in aerobic respiration, lots of energy, about 36 ATP of energy is produced, while in anaerobic respiration only 2 ATP of energy is released. That is much difference. See, 36 ATP and only just 2 ATP of energy. And finally, the products are easily released from the body. Which products? Like carbon dioxide and water. Whereas in anaerobic respiration, oxygen debt, oxygen shortage is produced, and we need more oxygen. We have to take deep breaths to take in more oxygen to break down this lactic acid. Well, now page 10 of your book summarizes what we do in anaerobic respiration, right? Aerobic respiration involves three processes. Which one? First one is oxygen is taken to the cells by the blood to the body, right? So what is the first step? That oxygen is taken to the cells of the body by the blood. Next, energy is released as a result of reaction between food and oxygen. Next, waste products like carbon dioxide and water that are produced are taken back to be breathed out into the air. So this is all about aerobic respiration that we are doing in our daily life. Now, in order to respire, the body first requires a good supply of oxygen. How we are getting this oxygen? By breathing in air through our mouth and nose. The air that you breathe in passes down the windpipe or trachea. So how we are taking in oxygen or taking in air? So before starting this, let's divide the respiratory tract into two parts. This is the upper respiratory tract that consists of nasal cavity, nose, nasal cavity, then pharynx. What is pharynx? Pharynx is also called throat, right? When pharynx ends, the esophagus and larynx starts. Then comes larynx, the voice box. We will talk about this in detail later on. Then comes the lower respiratory tract. It consists of trachea, yes, then its two branches that are bronchi, and finally the spongy organ, the lungs. So we have divided our respiratory tract into upper respiratory tract and lower respiratory tract. So on the way, the air goes through the voice box of the larynx. So what I told you, what is voice box? Voice box, that is called larynx. It is the part that comes just just below the mouth. And this is a box with walls made of membranes called vocal cords. This is a box which has vocal cords. We have two vocal cords, thin membranes like structures. These are called what? Vocal cords. What they do when we talk, they vibrate and sound is produced. This is the position of the vocal cords when they are open, and this is the position of the vocal cords that are in closed position. They are in V-shaped. Look, they are V-shaped and 2 in number. These are what? These are the vocal cords that are present in the larynx. What is larynx? Larynx is a structure that's connected to the top of the windpipe. Okay, so air passes through the larynx on its way to the lungs. Fine. Now, when you speak, air passes over these vocal cords in a way which makes them vibrate and produce sounds. Girls like जब आप गिटार की जो chords हैं when हम उनको touch करते हैं तो what happens, they vibrate और sound produce होती है. Likewise जब larynx में से air pass होती है तो these vocal cords they vibrate and finally what happens, sound is produced. Next comes the windpipe branches into two tubes called bronchi. Now starts the lower part of the lower tract of the respiratory system. Here what happens when trachea, windpipe, it is also called windpipe. When it reaches the chest, it divides into two branches that are called bronchi. Okay, each of which is attached to a lung. So it divides and enters the lung. Each bronchus splits up into smaller and smaller branches called bronchioles. This bronchi further divides and makes small branches that are called bronchioles. At the end of each bronchiole, there is present a balloon and air-like sac that is called alveoli. For this, you see this one. You see here what is happening? This is larynx, this is voice box. What is present over there? Vocal cords, a pair of vocal cords, V-shaped. Okay, then this structure is called trachea. When trachea reaches the chest, it divides into two branches. Look, these are called bronchi. One is called bronchus. Each enters the lung. This bronchi further divides into smaller branches that are called bronchioles. At the end of each bronchiole, there is present air-like structure that is called alveoli. Each lung contains millions of alveoli. That is important, that each lung contains millions of alveoli so that the whole lung is like a huge sponge. You know, हमारी जो lungs हैं, these are the lightest organ of our body as they are filled with air. Each alveolus has a very large surface area and is covered with blood capillaries. Some of the oxygen from the air breathed in dissolves in the moisture on the surface of alveoli. Alveoli and जो पूरा आपका जो respiratory tract है, it has to be kept moist होना चाहिए ताकि easily diffusion हो सके of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So what is happening here, that due to the moist walls of the alveoli, what happens, and they have one cell thick walls. The oxygen and carbon dioxide can be exchanged into the blood capillaries. Here you see what is happening. The blue arrow shows the carbon dioxide that is collected by the blood. It is diffused into the air sacs. Why? It is easy because their walls are moist as well as one cell thick. And the oxygen that we have breathed in, it goes from the alveoli into the red blood cells, into the bloodstream. This is the capillaries that are surrounding the air sacs. And finally what happens? Diffusion of gases takes place, useful substances enters the blood, and the waste gas, that is carbon dioxide, is removed from the body. Now page 11 of your book, you see at the same time carbon dioxide passes from the blood capillaries into the alveoli. Both processes are taking side by side, right? Oxygen is getting into the blood, and from the blood carbon dioxide is entering the alveoli. Eventually the carbon dioxide is breathed out of the body. If you look at this diagram, it is showing the exchange of gases in the alveoli. How it is happening? This is bronchiole. Air is entering. Two arrows are shown. Air is entering and air is leaving. When air is entering, it has oxygen, and this oxygen enters the blood capillaries. And when air is leaving, it is because of the carbon dioxide that has been diffused into the alveoli and is breathed out. Dear students, after doing reading and explanation of page 9, 10 and 11, now we have some short questions related with these topics. So prepare your page, write chapter 2 on the top of the line, then give heading of the chapter respiration and energy from food. Write first question, that is, what is the difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration? Short question. As the question is of difference, so make a column like this and write aerobic respiration. It takes place in the mitochondria and requires oxygen and glucose, produces carbon dioxide, water and energy, as we have done in the first part of our lecture. Now, anaerobic respiration. Its first point is aerobic respiration also produces energy and uses glucose, but it produces less energy and does not require oxygen. It takes place in the cytoplasm and produces lactic acid. Question 2. Make a list of all the parts of the body that air flows through on its way to the lungs. Short. As I have explained you on page number 10, the parts of the body that air flows through on its way to the lungs are mouth, nose, second nasal cavity, then voice box or larynx, next trachea, another name is windpipe, next bronchi, then bronchioles, and last alveoli or air sacs. Next question, again it is short. Differentiate between breathing and respiration. Short. As again you have to make column, draw a line, okay, over here between breathing and respiration. Breathing is a movement of air passing in and out of the body. Second point, the rate of breathing changes according to the needs of the body. Means if you stop your breathing, it's up to you. You can hold your breath for a while. When you are doing some exercise, then you take deep breaths and your breathing increases. In respiration is the chemical process which takes place in the cells. Second, energy is released from the breakdown of food. Next question is, what are the three processes of aerobic respiration involved in the human body? We have done it on page number 10. The three processes involved in aerobic respiration in human body are: first, oxygen is taken to the cells of the body by the blood. Second, energy is released by the reaction of dissolved food with oxygen. And last, carbon dioxide and water are taken back to be breathed out in the air.